this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your headlight assembly. This process will apply to both the driver's and passenger side. To start, I'm going to take out all these plastic push clips that are at the top of the bumper. The way to do this is with a trim tool. Pull the middle out like that, and then you can remove the rest of it. I'm just going to go down the line and take all of them out this way. Now this part's loose. This vehicle is equipped with headlight wipers, so we're going to have to take those off. As you can see, they go through the bumper with a trim tool or just your finger if you are strong enough. Pop this cap off. There's going to be a little nut there. We're going to have to remove that. Use your 8mm socket. Go slow. You don't want to break anything. Free up this wiper arm. There we go. And then you'll have to disconnect the hose. Be careful. A lot of times these little plastic fittings will break. Okay, perfect. In order not to lose this little nut, I'm going to put it back on. That way it can stay here until it's time to install and it won't get lost. And now do the same to the other side wiper. On the side of the bumper, you'll see this T25 mounting screw, and that actually holds this plastic piece here. And as I loosen it, I'm going to put pressure on my ratchet. That's going to push the plastic retainer backwards, and it has to slide. I'll show you later how this works once the bumper's off, but trust me, just push this back. This will let go of the bumper over here. You can see it has this little piece here. That's what holds onto the bumper cover. Follow the bumper cover down, and right at the corner, you'll see a little plastic push clip. Let's remove this as well. Okay. Following the bumper along, I have a plastic rivet here. You may or may not have one, but since I do, I have to drill mine out in order for it to actually come out of here. So I'm going to take a drill bit and drill out the center. That push through. We'll have to put a regular push clip in at the end. At the front of the bumper, you'll notice these small caps here. Don't confuse it for this big one. That's where the tow hook goes. These small ones you can pop out with a pocket screwdriver or whatever you have that'll get into this little slot. Remove it, and behind it you'll see a 12mm bolt. Go ahead and remove this bolt. Then do the same thing to the other side. To finish unclipping the side here, we have to pull up and out, just like this. Now I do have fog lights on this vehicle, so I don't want to go too far, but now with these bolts undone, I'm going to go ahead and pull out on this bumper cover. Okay. Leave it like this. Do the same to the other side. I'm going to drop it down a little bit. It's not very heavy, so since I unplugged the other side, I can flip it up over here and show you. This is how you unplug the fog light. It has this metal tab here. You can go ahead and press that in and disconnect the connector. And here's your front bumper cover. Like I promised you, here's the back side of this sliding clip that holds the side of the bumper on. When you unscrew it, you actually want to push it forward this way, and it'll let go of the bumper. And then when we tighten it back up, this is what's going to happen. You want to make sure that it locks into these sliding tabs here, and that's how it actually holds the bumper. Now to replace this headlight, you can see 3 mounting bolts underneath. Well, this one's to the side of it, but 10mm socket should take all these off. Okay, this one just removes this plastic piece from the wiper motor for the headlight. Take out the side one. Now at the top, let's take out 2 10mm bolts, this one and this one, not to be confused for these two at the back. There's one. On the side here, where this bracket is located, remove these 2 10mm bolts that hold the bracket so we can get to the last bolt that holds the headlight, which is back here. Another hidden bolt right here. And there's the bolt that we're after for the headlight. So let's remove it. Now you can take your headlight assembly, pull it straight out, And before we go much further, I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to remove this trim piece here, which we have to save for the new headlight assembly. It just has some plastic tabs. I'll show you a close-up in a second, but if you just squeeze those in, the trim piece pops right out. This is what I'm talking about. You press it and you push it through. Okay, set this aside for the new headlight. And now we just have to disconnect the bulbs. So if you pull the headlight out, you can't go too far with it because the wires are short, but press on the connector for the turn signal / marker light here. Now you can go a little bit further with it. And don't unplug it here. This is just a little extension, which is helpful because you can pull the headlight far enough to where you can flip it over, see the connector, press on the metal tab, disconnect it, and here is your old headlight. At this point, if you had any fancy bulbs in there, such as HIDs or LEDs or special halogens, you would just untwist these caps, remove your bulb, transfer it to the new one. These are just regular bulbs, and I don't need to transfer them over. And before I put it in, as a side note for you, this right here, as well as this right here, are your two adjustment points. One controls the height adjustment of the beam, and the other one controls the side-to-side aiming aspect of the beam. So at the end of the video, you'll see a tutorial on how to adjust these, and this is where you would do the adjustment from. Now, let's grab our connector, connect it, bring the headlight in closer because this wire is pretty short. I'm actually going to pull it out from behind this one. It's wrapped around, which makes it extra short. There we go. Got a little bit extra slack out of it. Connect this one in as well. Before you put it in all the way, let's put that trim piece at the top that goes around it. So take the piece and line it up with all of the tabs that it has to snap into, and just press it in. Make sure it clicks. It's nice and secure all the way around. Perfect. Now we can slide the headlight assembly in. Line it up with the bolt holes, and it has these two tabs at the top that need to lock into the upper radiator support. And with it in place, press it in all the way. Let's reattach the two mounting bolts, snug them up. Let's put this one in on the side, line it up. Now we can resecure this bracket. Snug it up. Now let's put in this bolt on the side here. Okay, now underneath here we have to remount this motor to the headlight. I'm going to start on one side, line this up, put the bolt through. Basically this bracket goes in front, and then the bolt goes through the headlight bracket and into the motor where it has threads and it can thread on. Not easy to line up, but eventually if you move it around enough, you'll get it to catch. Okay, so this side's on. Let's put this side in. Okay, those are on. Let's snug this up. Perfect, no interference with anything. Awesome. Take your front bumper cover. Before you clip it in, let's reconnect the fog lights. Okay, there's one and two. Line it up. Make sure the wiper motor shaft slides through the hole. All right, that's on. Let's put the two main mounting bolts. While I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and put these covers on. On the side here, let's clip it in. It has to hook up and over this little tab, and the rest of the tabs are flat and they just slide in over here. Oh, this one didn't make it. There we go. That looks good. And over here, let's tighten up this Torx screw. I'm keeping pressure on this. That way the sliding part can actually hook into its grooves like I showed you before. And I'm just going to tighten until it gets snug right here. That's it. That means it has grabbed the bumper all the way here. And as you can see, it's nice and secure. So that's perfect. Now let's reinstall the headlight wipers. Make sure you have the correct side otherwise it won't sit right. Slide it onto the shaft here, put the little nut on, position it exactly the way you want it, tighten up the nut. Don't tighten it too much, it's easy to over tighten this and either strip out the threads or break something, which would not be good. And with it tight, put on the cap. Let's connect the washer hose. Connects right up here by the wiper blade. Okay. Make sure everything sits as it should. Perfect. Put back all the push clips that we removed underneath. There we go. Just go along and do the rest of them. And now let's finish up with some push clips up at the top here. I had to grab some new ones because, well, as you saw, some of my old ones broke.
This is going to be a general tutorial on how to aim your brand new TRQ headlamp assemblies. Okay, so looking at your brand new TRQ headlamp assembly, you're going to see where your low beam is, and you'll see a little dot right in the center. And that is the axis point, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to mark that with an erasable marker, just so it's easier to see. Next, what we need to do is measure from the level ground up to this point and take note of that measurement. Now we're just going to pull the car up to our wall. On our vehicle, we remember that the measurement was 28 inches for our access point. Your vehicle may be different, but that's where I'm going to put this tape, just above that 28 inches. We'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so let's just back the vehicle up, straight back 25 feet from the wall. And now that we moved our vehicle 25 feet back from the wall, we're going to start with our measurement here. That's where the headlamp center is. We're going to go down 4 inches on the driver's side. On the passenger side, we have our line here. What we need to do is go down 2 inches. To adjust the driver's side, we're going to cover our passenger side headlamp. If you look at the back side of your headlamp assembly, you're going to see something that looks like this. This is the adjustment. Some of these headlight assemblies have 1, 2, or even more of them, but you should at least have one. This is how we're going to adjust the headlight beam. Now we're going to lower the top part of the beam down to just below this line. When you turn the adjustment to the right, it brings the beam up, and if you turn it to the left, it'll bring the headlight beam down. And this is this way on most vehicles. Let's continue on to doing the passenger side. All right, we properly aligned our TRQ headlamp assemblies. Okay, and on the quality TRQ headlamps for a pickup truck, the procedure is going to be the same. You're going to find your center dot, mark it, and then you'll measure from the level ground up to your dot. So once your headlamps are properly adjusted, it'll be time to adjust your fog lamps. You'll notice on the driver's side, the focal point is all the way at the bottom right now. I would like to bring it up so it meets up with approximately the bottom of the focal point of the headlight. Some fog lamps have an adjuster, others don't. The ones that do have an adjuster, you would just turn the adjustment to the left or to the right to adjust the beam up and down to where it needs to be. Now with your TRQ headlamps and fog lamps properly aligned, you can drive down the road safely.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.